Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Struggling Hunters. We're working hard on figuring out these public hunts and bringing them to you on this podcast to talk about our struggles, our successes, and anything else in between. I'm Eric,
I'm Joe.
and we are the
Are the
Struggling
struggling
Hunters.
hunters.
Yeah, that was a solid one. I like that. That was solid. Anyway, Joe, how are you doing this week? How's everything going this week?
That's going pretty good. I took a little bit of time off. So I guess the general archery seasons have ended. So I've taken some time off and put my feet up a little bit, rested some. Haven't done much as far as hunting goes. Been just chilling. I think I put on a couple pounds, but
That's all right.
but doing good. Yeah, like I said, haven't been doing much as far as the outdoor world goes, but put some of the gear away as far as camping equipment goes, because now it's I ain't gonna go camping until I come out to Colorado to hunt with you. So
Okay.
I had to put some of that away, but it'll get hopefully one more hunt out of them this year.
Yeah. Perfect.
But I do have the other thing I get to look forward to is being that I've been unsuccessful in my general archery endeavors of hunting deer. I am permitted to hunt in the late season archery or late season areas, which because I have an archery tag, it allows me to hunt late season archery Utah. And so that's a whole different, they have their own geographical area within Utah that you're allowed to hunt. But before I get any further, before you can, I think I said it before, is you have to take an online ethics course and print off a certificate, and you have to get 100% on the course in order to get the certificate. So I think it was like 20 questions, but it was kind of a closed book, but you got to read a little bit and then take they do like 3 or 4 questions at a time. Let you read another paragraph, then do 3 or 4 questions or 1 or 2 questions, and then read another paragraph. But yeah, so I went through that, did that, and I got completely done. And then it said I failed. So everything I saw said I passed, said correct. I didn't see one wrong answer the whole thing, whole time I was going through it. And I was a little frustrated. I was like, what the heck? And but so I went back, and it allows you to retake the question that you missed. And so I went back in to retake the question, and it was a question I'd never seen. So I think my trigger finger on the mouse got a little twitchy and double, like clicked and then like skipped a question or something.
Oh, gotcha.
As I was clicking through. So I just had to retake that one question, and I passed.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that was my other question about that, is they give you more than one shot if you do fail.
Yeah.
Pretty much they'll let you go until you pass.
As far as I know, I think so. Like, I don't know if it's like you just keep failing. I don't know if there's a limit. You'd think there would be, if someone's just you can't get it right and it's like their 50th time. Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
But they were, there were a couple questions where they maybe tried to get you, but like it wasn't like everything was set up for you to fail.
Right.
Set up for you. A couple questions were set up for you to think, but it was good. And now it gives me access or the ability to hunt legally in the late season archery portion of the hunt. So, and being that I was not successful in either my deer or my elk, now I can hunt either one in the late season.
You need all the extra hunting you can get.
Apparently. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I think I'm going to try to go out tomorrow after work. And I need to double check again, but I believe the season that I saw says it opens the September 12th and goes through November sometime. I need to double check the ending. I think it's the 30th, or maybe not. But I'll double check that and I'll catch up and let people know on this when we get back on again. But
You should set that up in your phone as far as like on the calendar or something.
I've already screwed up once.
Yeah, exactly. We're
pulling out a deer after a week after the season's over.
Yeah.
Oh no, I shot this. No, you shot it, but you weren't in season, bud.
I thought I could go till January 1st.
Right. Was it November this year or next year?
Yeah.
I thought I had a whole year to fill the tag. Sorry.
Yeah, that's funny.
But
well, good, man. I'm glad that that's all over with as far as the ethics course. Obviously, we both were kind of hoping that you'd find success in the season, but I'm glad that it's you're still able to get that second chance, if you will. And right now it's probably prime time is for elk. I mean, with the bugling or with the rut.
Right. That's the one thing I've been thinking too, is going up and hitting. I've said before, a couple areas up here I've hit. I've only ever seen cow elk up there personally 3 times. I've maybe caught, but I've caught a couple of cow elk on my cameras, and I think I got a bull elk on my camera once. It was just one night shot, and I couldn't see his head. It just looked like a bull body, in my picture. The way that, anyways. So, but yeah, I was thinking of going into the areas that my camera has caught elk in it, and bugle in those areas, and see if something turns up too.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be.
We need to catch a break. It's fun to say the struggle's real, but it sucks to have the struggles.
I know. Well, it's gonna seem like everyone's I want the struggles at some point to be something other than struggling to fill a tag, but I'd rather say, I got my deer, but my struggle of packing it out was just as hard, or.
Yeah. I'd rather have that struggle too than coming up, getting skunked every year.
Right. But I think, yeah. But I mean, I'm excited, more. I'm glad I have the opportunity to spend more time in the woods and hopefully honing in my skills to becoming a better hunter and whatnot,
Yeah.
But hopefully there is a lesson in there that I can learn to better myself for next year. Or maybe not better, but become luckier.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. I always used to say with myself, I always had to learn from my mistakes before I, actually learned anything. So maybe that's with hunting too, is I'm just learning through all my struggles and mistakes, and one day I'll be a great elk hunter because I made all the mistakes you can make.
Right. And I think it's one of those things too, of acknowledging where you're making those mistakes. It's, what they say, definition of stupidity or whatever is doing the same thing over and over and getting the same results.
Yeah.
And so it's, trying to realize what you're doing wrong over and over again, getting the same results and learning to tweak that or throw something out or.
Yeah, I think it's insanity.
But yeah, insanity. Yeah, stupidity, insanity.
Stupidity can be the same thing, though.
Might need to change that to struggles.
Yeah.
The definition of struggling is doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result.
Yeah. Oh, ain't that the truth?
But anyways, but I noticed you're change a little topics here is you at least caught an LCAT there, it looks like.
Yeah, it's the most success I've had in the last couple of years. Yeah, so a couple of podcasts ago we talked about doing 5Ks and 100-mile races, Spartan races and all that. And your sister kind of called us out on it, if you will. On Facebook, and she was like, "Hey, I found this run," and I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I'll do it." But I was kind of nervous because I was like, "Man, I talked about it, but I thought I'd have a little more time." But I kind of, I don't know, like on Facebook, I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it," but then in my head, I'm like, "Oh, I'm kind of nervous putting myself up to the challenge." But long story short, at the end of September, which I think by the time this podcast comes out, it'll either be that weekend or the weekend after. But yeah, I'll be doing my first 5K I've ever done, and I'm pretty excited about it. I've been working, fairly hard trying to get in my runs in the morning. I've been, waking up in the morning before I go to work and getting a little run in, just a little over a mile every day, but trying to improve on my times and stuff like that, and getting in a little better shape. And so hopefully by September 26th, I believe it is, I'll be doing my 3K, but I'll be in all right shape to do, it's kind of a self challenge. It's not like I'm really racing anybody. It's a virtual race. So I'll be out there by myself with my ridiculous hat on.
I don't know if you make the hat look good or if the hat makes you look good.
Well, I'm glad you're saying that, but I know the people that's listening to this on the podcast portion are probably like, what is he talking about? But if you watch it on YouTube, you'll see it's I don't know, what kind of blue is that? Like
you got like the topaz, not topaz,
isn't it like
turquoise
blue? Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit on the lighter side.
And then underneath on the bill is some like rainbow color or something. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, it's a cool hat for somebody. I don't know if it quite fits me, but I figured I'd throw it on for tonight's podcast at least and support the cause. It's for well, I can't remember. Hold on. It's a race for Emma Coburn's. I really don't know much of the history behind it, but I figure she might have been a big hunter or something. And I don't know. I haven't really done much research on her race. But yeah, it's an elk run. It's kind of fitting for the podcast, so I figured I'd do it. And you're gonna do it too, right? Like you didn't officially.
Yeah. So I went on to sign up before the, what do you call it? The closing, when they wouldn't, like the
deadline.
The deadline. I think it was, and they capped out. I don't know. I guess they had a certain amount of people that they wanted to participate in or have participate, and they reached that quota, and they must have decided to close it because they said that they had no more spots available. So
that's crazy though that they did that and it's it's a virtual run and you can run it anywhere. So
right.
And they're trying to raise money. So I figured I would have figured that they would have let everybody join in, you know, even if you
Right.
got your, I mean, I didn't really get, I got a face mask, this hat, and I should have brought it all out here. I didn't even think about that, but, and then like, I don't know, one of those little cardboards that you put on your shirt,
Yeah, like your number plate.
your number plate. Yeah. I got one of those but yeah, I mean, I'm sure, I don't know. I mean, maybe they only bought so many hats and that's why they,
Right. That's what I was thinking. Is they kind of had so many numbers of quantity of something, and they, you know, didn't want to have any deal with any back orders or something.
yeah. Well,
But
I
but,
guess,
but yeah, I am gonna get up and I'll run with you, so you're not running alone.
yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's a virtual race. So last weekend I did a 5K essentially. Kind of just mapped it out with my Map My Run app through Under Armour. And so I kind of got it mapped out and I'll probably just do the same route whenever I do it, unless they have like a destination for people to meet up. That I don't know if they will though, because of the whole COVID thing. So um, I don't know. As far as details, they said it was a virtual race and it's everywhere. So I thought, okay, cool. Then that must mean that I can run any route that I want.
Right.
So that's what my intention is. If they come at me and they're like, hey, you know, go over here and run this route, then I'll probably go do that. But I kind of have a route mapped out for me. So I'm just going to run that and yeah, have fun with it.
Yeah. So it's gonna be kind of like I guess, you know, yeah, virtual run, kind of a starting point of runs to come. How
Yeah.
you're gonna better yourself in the future.
Yeah. So, I mean, this whole thing kind of kicked off a bunch of things to get my wheels turning about it. And I think I'm going to try to do some kind of 5K every month.
Oh.
Um, I mean, I don't know what that really looks like. Like I probably won't worry about October too much cause I'll be hunting toward the
So
end
like
of October, but
trying to find a run to participate in, or
yeah.
doing your own route of a 5K.
Um, well, probably, both. I mean, like as long as the COVID thing is going on, I'm sure there's not going to be like a sanctioned event anytime soon. Uh, but so I'll probably do like more virtual runs for a while, but it was just like something that, because ever since this came up, you know, I've been pretty inspired on getting out and doing my little jogs every day. And, so I'm like, well, you know, it's kind of nice to have that like little challenge ahead of me every month type of thing. So, uh, I'm gonna, my plan is yeah, I'm just gonna try to do a 5K every month and kind of keep me motivated to keep doing cardio. And I know around here on Thanksgiving, and I don't know, you know, I guess let me back up a little bit because it might be a little more challenging. I really didn't think of the details, Joe, until just now whenever you said that. But yeah, so around here, I know that they do one every Thanksgiving. This year, I don't know if they will though because of the whole COVID thing. But um, I don't know. It'll be after the elections, so uh, COVID will probably disappear. Um,
True.
yeah. Um, so we'll see. But um, yeah, I'm just something that I thought about trying to do is just do, you know, at least a 5K, and maybe that'll build into more and more as time goes on. But I was like, well, I just kind of liked what I've been doing as far as my activity and kind of having that thing in front of me, dangling in front of me, going, you got to get ready for the 5K. You got to be ready for it. I just kind of been feeling like like it's something that could kind of challenge me and keep me going, to keep me in shape for hunting, really. Because that's the other thing that it all comes back around to, is I just want to be able to stay in better shape to get around for hunting, and you know, not get slowed up in the mountains by Joe, or not get passed up by Joe. I mean, so, but yeah, I'm excited about it though. It's my first one that I've ever done. It's just a 5K. It's probably not the biggest deal in the world or anything, but it's the first one I ever done. It's kind of fun to be a part of something.
Yeah, so I've done one 5K, and I've done one Tough Mudder, and then I did that one 16 or 17 mile run. So,
dude, I've been thinking about it. There's a movie, it might be in a couple movies, but where the last guy comes through, it's like comedy. But I can't remember the movie for the life of me, but I've been wanting to quote that movie. But I remember I watched a movie where the guy was like the last guy, and the finish line was getting, they were walking away with the finish line, and the whole scene, that's like what I'm picturing with you on that run. But
yeah.
But you finished though, and that's the important thing. And plus it was kind of, your route was not the running route, so I mean, I can't shame you. And at least you did it.
Right. But trying to think, you getting in shape and whatnot. Do you think Mike Tyson's getting in shape by doing 5Ks for his fight?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't think he's doing I think he's doing more than 5Ks, but I watched the interview on YouTube with Mike Tyson and Joe Rogan, and he's in good shape. I mean, he looks like his old self whenever he was in his 20s and 30s.
Really?
He looks pretty ripped. I mean, he just had a t-shirt on, but you could see his arms. They're all vascular, and I mean, he was swollen. And speaking of that though, yeah, I'm excited about that fight. I mean, it's Mike Tyson, and at least the clips that we've seen on social media and well, yeah, social media. I mean, he looks good. He looks good. I don't think it's going to be one of those things where like the old man goes out there and tries to do it one last time, and it looks pretty sad. I think it's going to look pretty sweet.
Here's a question on that side of things. So, do you think? So, I mean, everyone's always like, "Oh, 50's the new 40," or or whatever. But like, it's just so. With that being said, and Mike Tyson looking as good as he does, I guess, as being healthy or becoming healthy in a later age is probably easier to do now than it ever has been before.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, no, I know exactly. I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. I think so, man. I think, well, you got to think too. Mike Tyson has all the what's the word I'm looking for? He has all the resources around that he could ever want too. I mean, he doesn't really. Okay, I'll put it this way. Yeah, like, well, he doesn't have like a true 9 to 5 that he has to be to every day. So, he could take most of his days and just focus on working out and getting in shape. For one, for two, he has people around him that's like, eat this, lift this, run this, and helping him get in shape. And with the recovery technologies that are out there in today's society, like, yeah, it's nothing. He did say one thing though, because he made a promo video like when all this stuff kicked off with him getting ready to get back in the ring. This is even before he had a opponent who is no small feat either, actually, because his opponent's Roy Jones Jr., which anybody listening to this probably already knows that. But what I'm saying is Roy Jones Jr., he was an animal back in the day. And it's kind of amazing that they didn't fight before. But let me get back to point is he was telling Joe Rogan, he said that video, that 30-second video that I put out on Instagram, he's like, I couldn't get out of my bed for a week after that. Cracked me up though whenever he said that, but he's like it's been a hard road. He's like, I haven't conditioned like that in so many years and stuff, but he's like, I'm at that point now where I'm really feeling good, and I'm, he's doing everything. He said that he was doing like stem cells, so he kind of has all the resources. There was other things that he said that he did, but I remember stem cells was one of them, and that's kind of like that's something that, like, at least at this point, me and you wouldn't be looking at for recovery purposes to be getting stem cell shots or whatever the stem cell thing is, or however it works. But yeah, like that's where he kind of has all those extra resources to help him out. But yeah, I think it's a cool thing. I mean, think about it. When we were kids, I mean, we're kind of at that age where we're closer to 50 than we are being closer to us being kids. But when we were kids, like, you saw a 50-year-old, I mean, very, very few and in between was there somebody that was actually in shape. Most of them had, beer guts, and here he is at 50. I think he said that he was 54. Mike Tyson's 54 now, and he looks like he looks like he did whenever he was in his mid-20s to 30s, So it's inspiring. It, like, whenever I was listening to that, I was like, man, there's really no excuse at this point.
Like, I think that's like the kind of what I think at the end game of all this too is, I mean, yeah, you want to be in shape to be able to run the mountains or to, beat brush up and down the mountains. But, like, the other thing too, it seems like you want to keep yourself in shape to be able to have a better older age lifestyle. You're not, hopefully you've taken, like I mean, it's kind of impressive that he has been a boxer, and being 50 and still being agile, or still being in shape, not crippled up, even wanting to get back in the ring.
Yeah, it is kind of amazing. I was thinking of that too. I was kind of, because that was something else that he kind of said during the Joe Rogan podcast is it's something that he wants to keep doing after this. And I'm like really excited for it and everything, but I'm like, man, most boxers, like, most of them, they don't retire very well. Like, they talk a little slower, they're slower their speed because they got hit in the head so many times. And whenever that's your job to get hit in the head all the time, it affects you later on in life. And obviously Mike Tyson, he's kept it together mentally pretty well over the years. But I was thinking about that with him getting back into the ring in his 50s like that. Like, how many more shots can he actually take to the head,
True. Well, like, I mean, not to really compare the two, but with football, wearing helmets and those guys, like that, they're like, oh, he's had 2 or 3 concussions, or it seems like I'm probably wrong, but it seems like they have a number of like, well, he's had this many concussions, he's not going to play anymore, he's done. And
yeah.
But yet, like in a boxer, I'm sure, I don't know how many, if he's had any, but you feel like that, they would have a good handful amount of concussions.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, every time they get hit in the head, I'm sure their bells rung a little bit, and they might be like micro concussions, but they have to be some kind of concussions, you'd think,
Right.
or some form of a concussion. I mean, but I don't know, man. Yeah, that's kind of going off on concussions. Like, it's crazy how, when we were growing up, it was like, oh man, I got my bell rung.
Yeah.
How many fingers am I holding up?
Yeah.
I mean, that's as far as it went. If you could count the number of fingers on him, however many the guy was holding up, you were good, and
Right. I remember like there was one time like playing high school football. I went up and me and another guy hit the quarterback at the same time, and the other guy on our team had more of a run, and so I got my bell rung too. Like, like I got just as I got to the quarterback, the inside linebacker came shooting the gap and hitting the quarterback the same time I did, and he had full steam ahead. And I remember getting up and like being all dizzy and all right, getting in the huddle and still like getting up to the line and like still being a little dizzy. Keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, back in the day, it was different protocol for sure. Yeah, they'd ask you how many fingers you're holding up. You'd be holding up 2. They'd say 4, and they'd be like, "Close enough. Get back in there." So, but yeah, I'm pretty excited to watch that fight. It's gonna be on pay-per-view. I don't know how much it's gonna go for, but I'm pretty excited to watch it. I don't know I don't know when the last time Mike Tyson fought. I think it was against Holyfield because he got his license suspended. I think I could be wrong about that. He might have fought one other time after Holyfield, but what I was gonna say is he I remember before all this I was like, man, it'd be so cool to watch Tyson again, and here like I feel like that little like thought like is coming true. Like, has nothing to do with me or anything, but it's like cool that it's actually coming true again. I'm getting my opportunity to watch Mike Tyson fight again. And then Roy Jones Jr., like I said earlier, he was so good back in the day. And these two are dogs, man. They're like, I think it's gonna, even though that they're in their 50s. Well, I'm not 100% how old Jones is, but
I think I saw that Jones was 51.
51.
And,
okay, yeah.
Mike Tyson is 58.
Yeah, 58. He's 54.
Let's see. He was born in 66. Yeah, no, you're right. 54. Where did I get 58 from?
Idaho math class.
Yeah, pretty much.
Idaho.
Oh no, sorry. It's he has a total number of 58 fights.
Oh, gotcha.
With 6 losses. I just jumped, good conclusions. Didn't read everything.
Yeah, that's what you get whenever you scam through the articles. Right? But yeah, I mean, they're both up there. But back when they were in their primes, I mean, obviously Mike Tyson was Mike Tyson, but even Roy Jones Jr. Don't quote me on this, but I think he won a championship belt in middle class, light heavyweight, and heavyweight, or middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. He held the belt in all 3 classes. And the crazy thing is that guy like jumped up and down those weight classes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I want to say he won like the light heavyweight belt, and then or maybe it was the heavyweight belt, and then like his next fight he jumped back down to middleweight. Like that's not easy to do either.
No, that's kind of, yeah. So his division's heavyweight, whatever cruiserweight is,
or maybe it was cruiserweight instead of light heavy.
And then middleweight, then light heavyweight, and then light middleweight.
Oh, okay. So that was like 5 belts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So he he just jumped around. I mean, it's crazy that he could do that. And even whenever he was heavyweight, like if you watch his old fights on like YouTube or whatever, his body, like he didn't look fat. He looked muscular. He looked solid, So So it's crazy that how you could get to that weight and then go back down and jump around in all those different weight classes. Like that guy he was a dog, you know. He was dedicated, a true
Yeah, he was.
competitor.
Well, that's like what, you're sitting there thinking about it, and it's just interesting, like that's extra work added to your workout. Or, not, it's like different. You have to change your strategy of working out. You have to change your, I don't know what the proper word is, but like, it's not like if you're all right, I'm going to fight heavyweight. You just, you maintain your eating habits, your workout schedule, how you're working out, but if you want to drop weight, then you got to change what you're eating, change how you're working out, so that way you're not building muscle, you're losing muscle, but yet you're not, it sounds like an oxymoron, but you're losing muscle, but you're not becoming weak.
Yeah.
I'm sure you are somehow, but but you're still strong enough to fight.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I give him a lot of respect. I didn't really, for some reason, I don't know if it was because it was that era. I mean, I obviously knew who Roy Jones Jr. was, but I guess I didn't really follow him as closely as like I did Holyfield and Mike Tyson and who else am I can't think of his name now, but I kind of followed those guys, I guess, and Roy Jones, like I mean, I remember him and stuff. I don't remember a lot of his fights, but I just like, I mean, since this all came up with Mike Tyson and him fighting, I was like, wow, man, I really respect that guy. He's like a true competitor, and kind of going off of what you just said about I mean, you're eating like, one camp you're eating like a heavyweight, and then the next camp you're trying to eat like a middleweight. That's not easy. I've been trying to eat like a middleweight for years now. I can't do it.
Right.
I eat like a heavyweight, but I can't eat like a middleweight at all.
Right. Very true.
It's just crazy though. It's crazy. I'm excited for that fight though. It'll be fun. And then they got some I think they got a couple YouTubers. I know Jake Paul. I don't know if you really know the Pauls that well.
No, I can't say that I do.
Yeah. I got my ear to the streets, so I kind of know a little bit about a little bit. But him or Logan Paul, his older brother, I don't know if you ever heard of Logan Paul, but they're pretty big YouTubers is what I'm getting at. And
gotcha.
And they've been kind of getting in the boxing arena over the last few years, and Jake Paul, he's got a fight. He's like the undercard on the Mike Tyson fight, so it'll be pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I don't know. Yeah, like it'll be interesting to see how it goes, and hopefully they talk a little bit about their, recovery afterwards too. That it's not just the fight. Hopefully, it'd be interesting to see the aftermath of it.
Yeah.
Have they talked about how many rounds they're going to have?
Yeah, they're going to do 8 rounds.
Oh, okay.
So
that's a good.
I think that's a good number.
Yeah. I couldn't do 8.
No, I couldn't probably do 3, dude.
Right. All right, you win. I'm done.
Yeah. After the first round, I'd be like, I'm just gonna lay down on the canvas.
All right. Water.
Yeah. You call it a knockout if you want to.
Right. I'll fall over.
Yeah. I've been kind of wanting to. I've been kind of talking about that for a while now, with my wife, and just finding a boxing gym around here. There's a few gyms around here, but they're more focused like MMA.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I've always had the infatuation toward boxing, and I love MMA too. but I kind of wouldn't mind getting some actual training on boxing. So I think I might do that in the future at some point.
Yeah, that
Try
would
to
be
find,
fun.
yeah, it'd be kind of fun to. It definitely get you in shape. That would get you in some wood shape quick. Doing the
Yeah.
boxing stuff, you'd be able to run up all the mountains.
Now that would be something that I'd like to try to do a little bit better for this next year. Concentrate on the legs and stuff, get the legs in shape. So like next year, I can just try to cover more ground. Like that's totally changed to hunting again. But there was one point this year when I was elk hunting, I dropped down off this mountain range and I got turned around. I was like, well, I want to go off over here. But I was like, I was like, this late in the day, like I can make it, but like I just gotta just keep moving, like, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's another thing I gotta change in my hunting techniques, I think, is learning to be okay with that. Cause I like to set and watch more, I think. It's not out of laziness, it's just, well, maybe somewhat, but it's also that's how I've hunted is, watch more than beating the ground. But anyways, but I was like, man, it's this late in the day. That's a long hike to get down to the bottom of this canyon and back up the other side. And I was like, I don't really, and I got tired of busting brush too. Like I was like, I don't want to bust brush coming up out of the night. Like that just gets old.
Yeah.
And so I turned anyways, but I was like, I wonder how much it'd be different for me if my legs were actually like in that type of a shape. It's not that I'm ever really scared. Well, I guess I did get scared, talked myself out of it. But it's like, okay, I'll go down there. But I wonder how much difference it would be with legs actually in shape. But anyways, but yeah, boxing, because you had to dance around and stuff, and it'll help with the legs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be good. And I know what you're talking about too, because I get like, I mean, I kind of do the same thing where I think that I don't really have the limitations or anything, like I'm like, oh, I can walk up or down anything. But then I actually get out there and I'm looking across the canyon. I'm like, I don't think I want to go down in that. That's pretty aggressive.
Right.
So I'm like, I'll just hang out up here. But yeah, I feel the same way though. Like I'd like to, I don't know. That's kind of part of the whole, like trying to always have a 5K every month or as many as I can. I mean, I'm sure that they have 5Ks everywhere, going on somewhere. So I'm sure I could sign up to them every month. I'm sure they have them all the time. But that's something that was one of my biggest things, was like, I was just like, I want to get out to the woods and just be able to, tear them up. I mean, just like
Right.
not have the woods not be an obstacle that I have to work around. The woods have to work around me, something like that. So I don't know.
No, that's true. Well, it's like I try to look at it too. The long run is so we can be Mike Tyson wanting to box at 54.
Yeah. I mean, I think of that a lot too. So we're in our mid 30s and I'm like, man, like I don't want to be like 70 or 75 and be like, oh, I used to be able to do this. Like I want to still be doing it.
Right.
I still want to be trying to, maybe I won't be as fast as, well, I don't know how fast I am now, but, uh, I mean, I might get to a point where I'm not as quick or whatever, but, I still want to be out there putting in the work at 70, 75, 80.
Right.
That's kind of a crazy number to think about, being out there at 80 years old and still hunting up and down the mountains.
Right.
But I want to, like, that's kind of a goal of mine.
Right. And that's like one, so like along that note too, is just keeping yourself healthy, like just healthy as in not getting hurt, like
Yeah.
blowing your knee out, blowing your back out, your shoulders out, or busting your ankle or whatever it is, or your hips go out, so that and then you can't go out. But like trying to, be careful too, so that way you're not overexerting yourself and wearing yourself out.
Yeah. 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 I agree 100%. And then, kind of switching gears again, but I guess that's kind of the style of this podcast tonight. But I did want to bring up that football started. Did you watch any games this weekend, or did you miss them?
I missed them.
I watched a few. I'm excited. I get pretty excited for football myself. I guess that's a kind of a get to know me thing. There is I really like football a lot. I love watching football. Yeah, so I don't know. It's a lot of fun though, and I'm excited for
Did you have any
the
games play
season.
this weekend?
Yeah, so in my older years, I realized I think fantasy football kind of made me realize it, that whenever it comes to NFL, so I'm a pretty big Washington State Cougars fan and a Boise State fan,
Okay.
Broncos fan. Like those are my two favorite college teams. I mean, obviously, you know why. I mean, we lived in Idaho, and
Right.
Washington Cougars were pretty much right next door to us, and then obviously Boise State being in our hometown. So whenever it comes to college, our home state. Yeah, my bad. But so when it comes to college, I'm like pretty loyal to those two teams for the most part, But whenever it comes to the NFL, we didn't have an NFL team in Idaho, for one. For two, so like doing fantasy football, I've done fantasy football over the years, and it kind of made me realize that I'm more of a players fan than I am a team fan. Now I do have a favorite team. I love the Patriots. But with that said, when Brady and Gronkowski went over to the Buccaneers this year,
Yeah.
I'm like all about the Buccaneers all of a sudden. I'm like, go Buccaneers. And I'm like, man, I've never cheered for the Buccaneers, but now that Brady and Gronkowski's over there, I'm kind of cheering for them. So, yeah, it was exciting. I watched that game with the Saints and the Buccaneers, and they didn't look good. The Buccaneers, anyways. The Saints beat them up pretty good, but it was fun. It was fun to watch. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, football. I'm just glad that it's back for the season. I'm glad that it has a season. I kind of feel like football was like everything's shutting down or whatever they're trying to do. I mean, the professional sports, baseball, basketball is all going, but I feel like football was like, we're not letting COVID hold us back. We're gonna have a season, and it looks pretty good. They don't have a lot of fans in the stands, but some stadiums they allow fans, and some stadiums are not allowing fans. So it's kind of a little clunky there, but I mean, watching it on TV, you can't tell a difference. So,
Right.
But I heard that their ratings were down. I don't know if that's true or not, but I heard their ratings were down. But it's probably just because of just a mixture of everything. I mean, this whole COVID thing. I don't know. I'm tired of it. I'm over it.
Yeah, me too. Me
So.
too. This 2-week quarantine thing to help has lasted longer than 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's like a thorn in our side that just doesn't go away.
Right.
So, but it's changed a lot of things, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of glad it happened in a way, because I think if we would have never gotten the COVID, we would have never probably done this podcast, because this was all really created
True.
from COVID. as far as the Zoom technology. I mean, I kind of knew about these type of platforms that you could record video, but it wasn't until I saw a couple other podcasts and they're like, oh, we're doing it over this Zoom. And I was like, wow, that works. And then, so, 6 months later or whatever it's been, here we are. I mean, I don't know if it's been that long, but
I think we're 4 months.
4 months into it.
Yeah, but
So,
still 4 months.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff that's came out of it as far as that. I think that, unfortunately, like our work industry, there's not much that'll change, but I think there'll be a lot of future jobs that are like work from home. We don't
Yeah,
need you to come to the office. And so, I think for a lot of people, that'll be nice. I mean, anybody with kids, like, how great that is. Like you could, be at home with your kids and take them to school. And I mean, like I said, me and your industry, we don't have that luxury, but
right.
there might be a lot of jobs opening up that are like, oh, we want some people that can work from home, and
Right.
I think it'd be nice. I think it'll be a different change when
That'll be
all this
different. It'll be
stuff settles
interesting
out.
to see how the dust settles on it all, and what ends of it that way. Anyways, like what really the changes. I mean, I don't necessarily think we're at the new norm yet. I don't, like our new norm is going to be about, this time next year, whatever's going on. I hope, but
Yeah, I think I don't know. There'll probably be some things that change, but uh, I think that the second that we're able to run rampant the way we used to, we're going to go right back to those old habits.
right,
The only thing that I see changing is like, I think that people, because we were forced to try different things in the workforce to keep people working, and there's going to be companies that specifically hire people to work from home kind of thing. And I mean, really, it's kind of the way to go for even business owners, because you don't have to get as big, depending on what that business is. You don't have to get as big of a building to hold, to have everybody come in. You could have a smaller office where all your employees jump on Zoom every morning for a morning meeting or whatever that looks like. So
right.
I think it'll change a lot of things, especially in the programming coding space too. Like a lot of people,
True.
my wife's cousin is a coder, and he was saying something about that, about people or his company might change that way, because he had a little bit of flexibility in that department anyway, but after this COVID thing, he's like his headquarters is in Texas, and he's up here in Colorado.
Huh.
He's been up here for like 3 months, and a lot of it's because of this COVID stuff. So, but he's still working. He just jumps on his computer every day and does his thing. So, things like that would be nice.
Yeah. True.
But
True.
but yeah, I'm just glad that sports are back. Hunting's still doing good. I'll be hunting at the end of October, which is at this point in time. When this comes out, it'll be like a month away, but at this point in time, it's like a month and a half away, a little less than a month and a half. And I'm excited about that. I do feel like I need to find some time to get out and do a little bit of scouting and kind of plan my hunt a little bit better. September's been a little crazy. I got family that have birthdays and all kinds of different stuff. So been a little preoccupied doing that sort of stuff, family stuff, I guess, in September, but I'm hoping to get out here in the next few weekends. And I'd like to do a little bit of bugling, even though it won't really be effective for me in October. When I start my hunt, I just kind of want to do it to have some fun. see if I can call something in.
Right.
So, yeah, man, I feel like that's kind of everything. I mean, unless you got some more stuff.
No, I think that that covers it up. Hopefully, they've listened to us this long. They've enjoyed it, and they'll keep listening to us. But anyways, appreciate everyone listening to us. Hopefully, you give us a like or give us a subscribe. Hit the notification bell. But yeah, I don't know. We've enjoyed this. I'm sure it's probably hard to hear our enthusiasm as we talk here. Like probably doesn't stay up as much as we'd like it to. But as we've said in the past, this is what we're doing after hours, after jobs, after kind of if our honeydews list are caught up or, things are taken care of and we have the ability. We've been working hard to make this our ability to be able to do this. But, we are tired, but we enjoy doing this.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, hopefully in the future, our ultimate goal is one day we'll be able to do it in the middle of the day when our energy is up at its highest. But right now, we're just doing, if nothing else, give us a like and a subscribe because you respect the hustle, because that's one thing that Joe and I are doing is we're hustling. Like he said, man, we're working our regular full-time job and then doing this on the side. And if people are out there listening to this and you've never made content, you'd be surprised the work that actually goes into it. I mean, it's fun work and it's hard to call it work because I enjoy the whole process. But at the same time, it is time consuming. It's not just this part where me and Joe are talking to each other, but we're also, talking to each other before and after about the channel growth and the podcast growth, what we want to do in the future, what we're trying to do. And then after all that, then it's editing. And we try to simplify the editing, but that takes its time as much, that has its part of it too. And so it's a lot of work, not trying to like have a sympathy party here, but definitely if you respect the hustle, give us a little like and a subscribe because we definitely appreciate it. Yeah, that's all I got though.
That's what I got too. So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Again, thanks for watching. We'll continue on. We got some little short videos that'll hopefully be dropping here shortly. More coming out, but enjoy your struggle. I'm Eric. Just kidding. I'm Joe.
I was gonna roll with the punches, man. You should have kept it. You should have kept it going. I'm Eric. We'll see you guys later. We're out.
Bye.